picture frame protects a photograph from being torn or bent. It also enhances the photo and makes it functional for display. Whole grains do the same thing for your body. They encase the nutrients within wheat to help your body function correctly and stay protected from sickness. As an American consumer, I see the whole grain guarantee on several products when I go grocery shopping for my family. My siblings complain about the whole grain products that I buy because they prefer the taste and texture of white bread. However, I want to convince them that the health benefits of whole grain far outweigh their palate preferences. By eating too many refined grains, Americans are losing beneficial nutrients that come from the whole kernel of wheat. Learn why you should scrape refined grains off your plate to make more room for whole grains. As we pick apart their disadvantages, you will develop a distaste for refined grains. Americans are missing out on valuable nutrients by eating too many refined grains, as well as putting their bodies at risk for disease and dysfunction. The Whole Grains Council suggests that Americans make half of their grain consumption whole. However, 2012 research from the Whole Grains Council shows that currently the majority of Americans are only eating one whole grain for every 9 refined grains. Bakeries, restaurants, and grocery stores of America are rampant with refined grains, making it all too easy for consumers to overindulge. Since the 1940s, when it was first discovered that grains lose valuable nutrients during the refining process, the government required that they be enriched with iron and B vitamins, according to certified health coach Gianna Rose, 2011. However, the nutrients added do not even begin to make up for those lost in the refining process. 50 to 80% of the natural minerals found in wheat are taken out during the refining process. The wheat germ is removed, along with all of the healthy unsaturated fats and B vitamins. Poor nutrition is a conclusive contributing factor to numerous birth defects. Pregnant women who eat more refined grains than whole grains can develop deficiencies in B vitamins and folic acid. Swancut 2012 says that this raises the risk for their babies to be born with spina bifida. This is a condition close to my family, as both my brother Scott and my cousin Kirsten were diagnosed with spina bifida before birth. In Scott's case, he was born with a severed spinal cord and was paralyzed from the waist down. Knowing how complicated the adaptations are, which my family have had to make for Scott's life in a wheelchair, I would strongly encourage expectant mothers not to skimp out on any whole grains during their pregnancy. Rose, 2011, who is also a registered nurse, explains that refined grains have a high glycemic index. This means that it makes your blood sugar rise in a short amount of time. The pancreas has to work hard to regulate your blood sugar levels after the consumption of refined grains. If too much stress is placed on your pancreas, it has to work hard to regulate your blood sugar levels, and blood sugar levels may stay high after eating. This puts your body in danger of gaining excessive weight as well as developing high blood sugar, both of which can lead to type 2 diabetes and heart disease. Centers for Disease Prevention 2011 report that of the 29 million Americans diagnosed with diabetes, 90 to 95% of the cases are type 2. 79 million Americans are predicted to be pre-diabetic. The consumption of too many refined grains directly affects the well-being of Americans, as it is a large contributor to diabetes. The pancreas is not the only part of your body that struggles during the highs and lows of blood sugar. The brain suffers as well. Natural health teacher Stephen Horn says that as your blood sugar varies, so does your mood and ability to think straight. The brain needs stable sugars in order to function properly, as it consumes more sugar than any other part of your body. Refined sugar that comes from refined grains can lead to hyperactivity, ADHD, anxiety, irritability, reduced performance in school, and mental illnesses like schizophrenia, says Horn. Integrating more whole grains into a child's diet can reduce the symptoms of ADD. For example, Kim Friesen, 2012, took her son with ADD off his medication, specifically Adderall. Instead, she controlled his diet with supplements and healthy foods such as whole grains. He experienced the same relief from his ADD symptoms through a healthy diet than he did from his medication. It was no longer the drug that was reducing his ADD symptoms. Now that we've worked up an appetite for a solution to our refined grains dilemma, Let's bite into the benefits of whole grains. Whole grains contain many more nutrients and health benefits than refined grains. They are packed with protein, calcium, zinc, copper, magnesium, and antioxidants, says Todd Dix, 2012 author of Read It Before You Eat It. She describes whole grains as being good for your heart, possessing the ability to lower cholesterol, triglycerides, and blood pressure. Whole grains stabilize blood sugar and insulin levels for diabetics and are being linked to the prevention of colorectal cancer. In order for athletes to stay energized during a workout, they need to supply their body with plenty of carbohydrates. Whole grains are a better choice than refined grains as they are full of fiber and B vitamins, which keep athletes full, focused, and fit during a workout, as well as contributing to muscle building, defends expert on nutrition and fitness Andrea Cespedes, 2012. Many people, such as my siblings and classmates, complain about the hearty texture and grainy taste of whole grains. You can still enjoy the taste and texture of white bread while getting the benefits of whole grain by using whole grain white flour, says registered dietitian Nora Zibdev. Whole grain white flour is not refined. Instead, a completely different type of wheat is used to make whole grain white flour that is lighter and smoother than the red wheat traditionally used. This allows manufacturers to use the whole kernel of wheat, making the flour whole grain, yet white at the same time. If you do a little browsing at your grocery store, rather than just picking up the first package you see, you can find bread labeled whole grain white. Yes, even at Maynard's here in town. I found whole grain white flour at Target, but you can also purchase it at food co-ops that sell whole and organic foods. You can create your own type of whole grain white flour by mixing regular refined flour with whole grain flour. You can experiment with different ratios of whole grain and refined flour to find what works for you and your family, keeping in mind that wheat bread is an acquired taste and it takes some getting used to. As our convictions about whole grain digest, let's review why they're a better choice than refined grains. When Americans choose to eat more refined grains than whole, they lose the benefits that come from the whole kernel of wheat. They get fewer nutrients from what they eat, but ironically can end up gaining excessive weight as well as putting themselves at risk for a host of diseases. Whole grains are packed with vitamins, minerals, and fiber to keep you feeling full longer and help the body function in a healthy manner. If you are turned off by the hearty texture and grainy taste of whole grains, you can substitute whole grain white products for refined carbohydrates, such as the homemade whole grain white bread I will be handing out in a moment. Consider the consequences of eating too many refined grains the next time you choose white over wheat. It's not that you can never enjoy baked goods made with refined flour, but remember to balance those carbohydrates with whole grains at your next snack or meal. This will ensure that your body has the nutrients it needs